Hi there. Are you planning a trip to Japan? Looking for an off-the-beaten-path experience near Tokyo? Join us today as we explore the unique culture you can discover north of Tokyo. Let's begin.
So, hello Heather.
Hi Angus.
So today we're going to talk about 4 interesting rainy season activities nearby Tokyo.
Yes.
Your blog post that you put together.
Yeah.
It was really good. And
Thank
so
you.
I kind of want to introduce it to everybody who's watching us on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
First of all, rainy season is usually a time when people kind of avoid traveling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people might think, oh, maybe I'll wait until the summer or I'll go before rainy season in spring, winter. Why did you pick rainy season, and what do you like about rainy season so much?
Rainy season actually kind of made me fall in love with Japan more than I thought. A lot of my Japanese friends always said, like, oh, you don't want to do much during rainy season. It's always so rainy and it's so, they have a word for it, mushi.
Mushy.
Mushy.
Yes.
Yeah, where it's like
Mushy,
just
mushy.
really, the air is really thick and wet. Like my hair never stays right during rainy season. But the views that we got during rainy season were amazing. The mountains looked more mysterious. Waterfalls were flowing way more than usual. My kids love to play in the mud, so it
You
was
might need
just
boots.
Yeah, you might definitely bring rain boots or hiking
You don't have
boots.
to bring them.
Yeah.
Go to Daiso or something.
Oh yeah,
go
get them
buy
for
it.
like $2. So easy. No, but it just really made me fall in love with Japan and really feel a very odd natural connection that just feels very peaceful because you also have the rice fields that have just been planted, and so you hear frogs at night all the time, and yeah, I think it looks really mysterious and really cool.
So usually from about maybe mid-June to mid-July is
Yeah.
rainy seasons.
Yeah.
So there's 4 things you talked about. One is mountains.
Yeah, mountains look the coolest. So clouds are usually covering the mountains, but so during rainy season, it's not always raining. Sometimes it's just really cloudy. The clouds can be really high or really low. So while it's raining, if you go to the top of a mountain, you're almost literally walking through a cloud, and it's the coolest thing ever. Everything looks really foggy. The trees look different. The leaves look different. The smells are amazing. Oh, the smells are great. And sometimes you get a really perfect cloud part along the mountains, and you see just a different view of them.
And you see the sun coming through sometimes.
Oh yeah, they're like angel rays are coming through, and the mountains just look so much more powerful during this time. It's very neat to see.
I know you also mentioned waterfalls, so that's the waterfalls. Yes.
Yeah.
So waterfalls is the second another thing you think is good to go and see during rainy season.
Yeah.
Is there any particular waterfalls that you want to go or people should go and see?
There's one in Nasukarasuyama called Ryuumon Falls. And
Ryuumon Falls.
Yeah, so usually any time of the year, like it has a good water flow coming from it. It's a very wide waterfall. And during rainy season, right after a good rain, this waterfall is just literally gushing. It's like a miniature Niagara Falls, just right in the middle of Nasukarasuyama. And it's really cool because ajisai or hydrangeas are blooming during that time, and there's a nice ajisai path to get down to the falls. And if it's raining, more than likely you'll have the area to yourself, but it is worth seeing. The smells are amazing. The water is just flowing so much. It's kind of flooding a little bit, but it's really cool to see.
So if it's been raining a couple of days and you looking at the weather forecast, you see that there's a day that's maybe not going to be raining, go to a waterfall.
Yeah,
Good idea, isn't
because the water is still rushing down from the mountains, and it's still going to be flowing really good for a while. Kegon Falls up in Nikko is also a really good one to see. It's huge. It's a really long waterfall that you can see. And then during rainy season, there's a ton of tiny waterfalls that are falling right next to it, making it look bigger than usual. And it's just, and watching the mist just flow over the mountains around it and through the trees just gives it this real ethereal feeling to it. It's really cool.
I also recommend Fukuroda no Taki in Ibaraki, which is also really nice when there's lots of water. It kind of is different from like a normal waterfall where it doesn't just drop, it kind of slides down.
Yeah.
So there's like it's like sliding, it looks like silk.
Yeah.
So those waterfalls are also really nice to go and see. There's also like this, I think you featured in your articles, like a hidden gem. In near Nasu
Shiobara, Oshiraji Falls. This one's a little bit more difficult to get to. Definitely wear proper footwear. It does get a little bit muddy. So you walk along a fairly easy trail. There's some rocks in it that you have to watch out for. But when you're walking through the forest to get to this waterfall, it is so quiet. The smells are amazing. You're almost literally walking through a cloud on a rainy day, and everything just looks different than it would like in spring or summer. And this waterfall usually doesn't flow much unless it's raining, so it's really good to go on a rainy day. Yeah. But what's very interesting about this one too is not just the waterfall, but the basin is so blue and it is so clear. And during rainy season, it kind of has more of a green tint to it, but the water is clear. And this is one of our favorite places to go. We actually had our picnic right next to the falls because it was just so peaceful and so nice. All the rocks are typically wet and they're covered in moss, and the green during this time just pops out.
Moss, like in Japan, that's when if you like taking photos and stuff.
Yeah.
Green moss over the rocks and stuff.
And it's everywhere.
Really nice.
It's everywhere. So bright green, and it's just one of those places that you don't really think about during rainy season.
And your third?
Onsen.
Onsen.
Yeah,
onsen
surprisingly.
During rainy season.
Yeah, so some days it doesn't get too hot during rainy season. With the cloud cover, it kind of feels a little bit cool. And while it's raining, it feels even cooler. So sometimes you can go to onsen. I recommend at night. But because it kind of feels cool, you're feeling a little wet and slashy, kind of icky. But when you go into onsen, you come out feeling more refreshed.
That's true.
And it's not so bad. And if you get one of the onsens that are based outside, being outside while it's raining in your onsen, it really feels nice with the hot water and the cool rain hitting the top of your head.
The smell of nature.
Yeah, it's a different feeling than what you get in winter when you go to onsen. So I highly recommend that one.
Onsens. And then the fourth, last but not least,
is hydrangeas. So
flowers.
Flowers. So in rainy season, I mentioned earlier that ajisai or hydrangeas are a really big thing. They're blooming everywhere, and they are just gorgeous, especially during rainy season.
This is kind of like a typical rainy season flower, isn't it?
Yeah.
You like have a hydrangea, and then a leaf is wet, and then there's a frog on it or something like that.
Yes,
like your picture of rainy season.
And even when it's cloudy or rainy, these flowers just pop in color with the green and the purples and the blues and the pinks. Everything. There's one place in Tochigi City that you can go to. It's called Mount
Ohira.
Mount Ohira. And there are ajisai or hydrangeas literally everywhere. Everywhere. It's like a huge festival of, like a nature festival. There's a temple at the very top of this mountain. And it's about 1,000, it's like 1,000 steps to get up.
I think it's 1,000 steps, yeah.
Yeah. But don't be intimidated by it because you're going to be stopping a lot to see all the different views.
You can drive up to the top. But
yeah, you can drive. You can drive. But then you'll miss all the ajisai.
Yes, you can drive and then walk down.
You could do that. That would be much. Then you have to go back up to your car.
True.
So
you still have to walk. Okay, you still have to walk the 1,000 steps. But it's worth it.
It is really worth it. So there are 1,000 steps, but you're going to be stopping all the time for different views of the ajisai. Every step you take, there's a different view, a different vantage point, and all of them are amazing. So I would definitely highly recommend.
There's also Mito. Mito has a famous hydrangea
That's
festival.
Right, yeah.
So that's also popular. There are a couple of places that have hydrangea festivals, so it's definitely worth checking out if you're in Japan during rainy season. So 4 things to do during rainy season. First one, mountains.
Yep, definitely see the mountains.
Second one,
Waterfalls.
waterfalls. And third one,
Onsen.
onsen.
Always onsen.
And the last one,
Hydrangeas.
hydrangeas.
Yes.
So if you're planning a trip to Japan and it's rainy season, well, there you go. Nothing to worry about.
Mm-mm.
There's many fun stuff to do in Japan, North
Definitely.
Tokyo region.
Mm-hmm.
So check us out. Check our website out for more information, and check Heather's blog post, which is really good and has all the details of all the stuff we just mentioned. So
Yes.
hopefully this helps you on your trip to Japan during rainy season.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hope to see you in Japan.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to visit nearbytokyo.com from the link below for detailed information on activities and access to this uniquely Japanese destination, as well as other fun day trips from Tokyo. This has been Nearby Tokyo.